All right, and we're on, Rosie. Oh goodness. What, Doodle? Yeah, it's your show. Your show's on. You always know when the show's coming on. It's when I set my phone up on the tripod and the computer and pull the microphone down. You know what's going on. All right, so we started streaming. We'll see when people get here. So there we go. Marilyn's here. Hey, Marilyn. So we got Marilyn, got Ryan. Hey, Ryan. Meow. You saying hi to everybody? So, Happy New Year, Marilyn. Happy New Year, Ryan. I'm sure Jeanette will be here momentarily. Rosie says Happy New Year. What is it, Doodle? Yeah, as you can tell, the normal drug rug is out of commission. I've got to wash it. So we're using it. What have you got? Come here. Hang on. You got a piece of lint on the side of your head. Silly. So yeah. So who all we got? It says 4 watching. I picked up Jeanette. Jeanette's here. Happy New Year. Yeah, this is her sort of standby rug. So her other one, she got sick on the other one, and I need to clean it. So I think that it was just a matter of she probably ate too much because she had just eaten and then climbed back up on the sofa, and the gift that she left me was pretty much solid pieces of food that she had just eaten. So that's one thing about a CH is they can, like most animals, they can eat and then walk away. But a CH, just by their nature, they stumble and fall and roll over, and they end up stirring their stomachs up anyway. So I guess that's what happened. I don't know. I'm going to keep an eye on her, but she's fine so far. So where are you going? Oh, there you go. Good job. Turn my sofa up. So yeah, we're trying to go a different route on her claws. I'll explain that one here in a minute. That was a nice little adventure. Marilyn. She seems to be fine. It was just an isolated incident. I fed her, and she goes and eats at her own discretion. But then, she climbed back up on the sofa, and she's fine. That was yesterday, or no, not yesterday. The day before. I just haven't had a. Well, I got the sofa cleaned up. I just have to, because most of it was on the drug rug. So I've got to. I got the sofa cleaned up, of course, because I sit on the sofa a lot. But yeah, I haven't had it. I've had a lot going on that I'll explain here in just a minute. That I haven't gotten around to putting the drug rug in the laundry in the washing machine yet. So anyway, so let's go ahead and get the the old good news, bad news. Let's get the bad news out of the way. I hate to be a downer this early in the show, but it's life. It's what happens. It's what we do. So for anybody, well, y'all are all familiar with the show and what we do. So, pardon me, I'm trying to get comfortable here. So, unfortunately, this is not something that has that I really set out to be a tradition, but it has somehow become a tradition. So I guess y'all all know by now, when you see me break one of these out, then we're paying tribute to a fur baby that has crossed over the Rainbow Bridge. So unfortunately today, there are two to honor. And one of them, I don't know if y'all follow the channel. It's I follow them on Facebook. I don't know if they've got a YouTube, but it's called Kit Kat Playroom. And the lady that runs it, that owns it, that has the cats, I don't know what her name is, but one cat in particular that was sort of the cornerstone of Kit Kat Playroom was a little orange uh, fur baby named Wyatt. And Wyatt had various health challenges and everything, but he was, I want to say, he's probably like 10, 11 months old, and he passed the other day. If you go to Kit Kat Playroom on Facebook, then you'll see. I mean, he was just an adorable. He had all kind of, like I said, he had all kind of health challenges, but thank God for her, she gave Wyatt the best life and the best love for the time he was here. And that little baby knew nothing but love, and it was just his time to cross the Rainbow Bridge. And so I want to, as I've done in the past, when other fur babies have crossed the Rainbow Bridge, then I raise a glass to them and I pay tribute to them. That's one. The other one that I need to pay tribute to is my dog Highway. As much as it pains me to say, I had to have him put to sleep yesterday. So he's elderly, was elderly, and his health has been going down for the last several years, handful of years. And then yesterday, it just seems like everything caught up with him just all at one time. And yesterday was just it was time. And I'll be more than happy to go into the story if y'all would like it, but it was just time. And he looked at me, sort of like saying, "Hey, Dad, it's time for me to go." So as much as it broke my heart, I made the necessary phone calls and arrangements and everything, and he has also crossed the Rainbow Bridge. So I just want to start the show off by paying tribute to Wyatt and Highway, and I want to raise a glass to them. And yeah, so there you go. Well, thank you, Jeanette. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's not been fun. It's not been an easy day or so. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. This is probably something that probably wouldn't hurt to have done sooner. Just because, I mean, he's had days where it's just like, oh my God, you can't stay here anymore. But then he would rally and be good 2 days later. But yesterday was just completely different. But I mean, it was just time. And he had a buddy. I had a cat named Cat that passed away back in 2022. So Highway was born in 2008. Cat was born in 2009. We got him as a kitten. And they were the best of buddies. I mean, they slept in the same kennel together. They played, they chased, they shared food and water. I mean, I think Cat thought he was a dog and Highway thought he was a cat, but either way, I mean, they were just two peas in a pod. Well, Cat passed away in 2022, and of course, Highway's, already elderly at that point, but I guess the comfort that I take in it is that now Cat was probably there to greet him on the other side of the Rainbow Bridge, and now they're, Highway's not blind or deaf anymore. He, uh, doesn't have little seizures and fall down anymore, and so they're probably running around chasing each other like they used to do. So yeah, I want to raise a glass to watch your ears, Doodle. To Wyatt and Highway. So here's to Wyatt from Kit Kat Playroom. He was and is just the most precious, adorable boy. Gave love, received love, and touched the world and made it a better place. Here's to Wyatt. And to Highway. I could do a toast for that little fool that would last 4 hours. He was smart. He was dumb. He was funny. He, the two things in life that he loved the most, the absolute most, I don't know, weirdest dog ever. He loved kids. And he loved cats. He loved cats more than, he was awesome. He is awesome. But he definitely had, there were definitely good times and bad times, but he didn't care. He gave love. That's all he knew how to give, except to other dogs. He wasn't a big fan of dogs. I don't know why. A little bit of self-loathing, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, he was. I don't even know if I can describe him. A little goofball, but yeah. Here's to Highway. So anyway, that having been said, it's hard to let go to say goodbye. Yeah, I still, where his kennel was, where he would sleep at night. When I got back from taking him to, I took him to the vet, and they put him to sleep, and then I took him to a local animal crematorium, and gonna have him cremated and put his urn up on my wall, actually next to Cat's urn. But when I went ahead, I came home and, immediately, as not to sound cold, but I kind of de-highwayed my place. I got his kennel outside. I'm going to throw it away. Cleaned up as best I could. It could go both ways. Well, I want to hang on to memories of him, but I also don't want to hang on to too much and then end up being stuck in this living in the past, and life has to go on. But it also wasn't very comfortable seeing his kennel and all that. As a matter of fact, in the room where his kennel was, I still, like when I left to go to church this morning, I told Rosie, "Love you, Toodles," and I walked past his room and told him, "Love you, Toodles," even though he's not here. I told him good night last night. So, but yeah, it's hard to. He's been a part of my life for 16 and a half years. I'm 54, and he's been a part of my life since I was 37, which is, in perspective, is like, that kind of gives you I don't know how old everybody is here. I think everybody's pretty well somewhere close to my age. But, uh, but when you think about it, you're in your mid-50s and you've had this animal since your mid-30s, it almost seems like, somebody my age looks back at their 30s and it's like, wow, that was 100 years ago. Well, that dog has been with me since then. So yeah. But yeah. Uh, Jeanette said she had 4 fur babies cremated. Oh wow. Well, and that's there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of people that, and I almost found myself in this situation with Cat, where until I found this crematorium, I was well, I mean, I told you that when I was married previously, that we did cat rescues and, a little bit of dog stuff thrown in there as well. But anytime there was an animal that needed to be cremated, then my former wife, she usually handled all of that. So I wasn't familiar with the, who to talk to and all this stuff. So when Cat passed away, then I didn't, I was in a very different place financially. I was in a very different place, period, emotionally and everything, because there was a lot had gone on in my life in the year previous to him passing. And I was just dumbfounded on what I could do. And I don't know if I typed something wrong in Google, but in the course of trying to find somewhere to have him cremated, the only things I could come up with were, that it was going to cost $1,200, $1,500, $1,600 to have my cat cremated, and I was like, what the hell, that didn't seem right. But so as bad as, I mean, it broke my heart, excuse me, but at the time I didn't have resources to do anything else, and I was just going to, as bad as this sounds, just throw his body out. Just with, I hate to admit that, but I mean, I was not in a place where I could do anything. And fortunately, in course of talking to the girl that I was dating at the time, she was not happy about that at all. I mean, no more happy than I was, but she insisted that I try again, do something, try to find something. I mean, she was really pissed off about it. And like I said, I was too. So I'm glad that she motivated me to do some more research. And I did find that it doesn't cost that much to have an animal cremated. And I found a place that was within my budget and was able to get Cat taken care of in that way. Thankfully to her, to the girl that I was dating at the time. And they did such a great job, and they were so respectful. They were everything was so dignified and beautiful that I went back to them for highway, and this was yesterday, and they said, normal 2 to 5 days. So I'll get his ashes back sometime this week. But they were so wonderful that, of course, I went to, and I'll refer them to anybody. But they're just a local place here in the Houston area. But anyway, so yeah, I know firsthand how, to Jeanette's point about how important it is to have the ashes, have the cremains. So, and I'm just babbling right now, so y'all just have to just bear with me. I like to think the place in Scott's heart is exactly Highway 6. Oh, Marilyn, you're gonna make me cry. I'm trying not to. Thank you, Marilyn. That's awesome. Thank you, Marilyn. And I'm trying to keep it together. So, but yeah, this is. So this is Cat. His remains are in a little bag in the bottom of the thing, and got a little plaque with his name engraved on it, and I had them do a clay paw print. So I don't know how well this shows up, but there's his cat. And it's a funny story, how he came to be called Cat. When we got him, my stepdaughter, who is, I like to view as more of a daughter to me. I love, she's great. She's awesome. She's a wonderful, wonderful human being. But she was, how old was she? This was 2009. She was she was almost 12. But she named him, and we said, okay, that's his name. Then she changed his name about a week later. And this happened to say she never could land on a name. So she kept changing his name. So I finally got to where I couldn't even keep up with what his name was this week versus last week. So I just started calling him Cat. Like, hey, come here, Cat. Hey, has anybody fed Cat? Cat. I just started calling him Cat. Well, fast forward some, 6-8 months or something, him and Highway were playing as they did. And they used to play rough. Because he was a kitten, and, Highway was only a year and a half old at the time. And they used to play so rough. Well, I noticed one day Cat was limping, and I was like, okay, so this isn't good. So I took him to the vet to be looked at as one of his back legs. See if he broke a leg or something. I knew that Highway didn't hurt him, but the way they used to play, I was like, he probably got hurt in the course of playing. So took him to the vet, and one of the first things that they asked me about the patient was, what is his name? I was like, I don't know, Cat. And they put a piece of tape on his kennel, Cat Sibley. That worked. So for whatever reason, from that moment on, his name was Cat. So whenever I would tell people that I've got a cat, oh really, what's his name? Cat. No, I get that, but what's his name? Cat. So that was just who he became. Cat. Fortunately, Highway had a name that stuck. He didn't end up getting named Dog. So I'm sorry, am I boring you, Doodle? She's looking at me like, hey, gum, Daddy. She's looking at me like, this is the Rosie Show, not the Scott Runs His Mouth show. Sorry, Judgment Cat. Oh, me. So anyway, yeah, that's how my 2025 has gone. I'm already thinking 2025 is just being a jackass. We're 5 days in, we got 360 more to go, and we've lost Wyatt and Highway. I'm just like, holy crap. Well, there you go, Ryan. See, I could have spelled it with a K, but I was like, I don't know his name. Cat. I call him Cat. That's his name, Cat. Okay. Piece of tape stayed on his kennel for years. Cat Sibley. Matter of fact, I think that vet still has him in their records as Cat Sibley. So, all right. So that was the, I said at the beginning, Cat is also the name of the cat on Red Dwarf TV show from the. Oh, really? Okay. I don't even know what Red Dwarf TV is. I'll have to look into that. But so there we go. I said, good news, bad news. I want to get the bad news out of the way. first. And highway, we got to, while I'm on the subject, I think I've shared this with y'all before, but the way we got his name, the way we named him, is he was found on the side of the highway by a Houston police officer that was on his way to work, and he went and got in his uniform, got in his patrol car, came back to the spot where he saw the dog, and he was still there, so he grabbed the dog, put him in his patrol car, and then throughout the night, I guess he just had, so bottom line is, he apparently had to tow a car sometime during his shift, and he gave the dog to the record driver to see if he could find a home for it. Well, as it turns out, the record driver was one of my neighbors at the apartment complex I lived in. So he brought the dog home to his wife to see if they could find anybody that wanted one. And my then wife, not the one I was most previously married to. I've been married 3 times, so we'll give you a little quick back. 3 times, twice to the same person. So the first marriage was to this person, second marriage was to this same person, then third marriage was to the next person. So I've been married 3 times, 2 ex-wives. So it was the second marriage to the first wife, where we were living in this apartment complex, here in the Houston area. And this record driver's wife comes over. Now, my wife and her daughter, my stepdaughter / daughter, they'd been asking me, can we get a dog? Can we get a dog? Can we get a dog? And I kept saying, no, we're not getting a dog right now. We don't have the money for it. We don't have the time. We don't have the this. We don't have the that. Blah, 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 blah. And I kept telling them, no dog, no dog, no dog. Well, the record driver's wife, who lived in the building next to us, she comes by one day. I was home for lunch from a job site, and she's got this little puppy, and she's like, "Oh, do y'all want a puppy?" I'm like, "No, we don't want a puppy." This, my wife and stepdaughter weren't at home, but I'm like, "No, we don't want a puppy. Get the dog away from me. Go, take it. Get out of here." Well, she had set it down, and while she and I were talking, and I was telling her, get the dog away from me, the dog walked over, laid across my work boot, and fell asleep. Really? So naturally, my stupid self took a picture of him laying on my work boot, sent it to my wife, and immediately got back, and like in all caps, "Can we keep him?" Well, I don't guess I have a choice now for us to keep him. It looks like he's keeping us, so that's how we ended up with the dog. So since he was found on the side of the highway, we named him Highway. So yeah, he had apparently somebody had just tossed him out, abandoned him on the side of the road, and that's how we ended up with him. So, I guess, you've heard of the cat distribution network. I guess there's a dog distribution network as well. So, and then Sasha, the little outside cat that is buddies with Highway, I think she's kind of noticed his absence since he hasn't been out there since Friday, because it was yesterday morning that he was in such bad shape. That she still comes around for pets, for being petted and loved on and fed and all that stuff, but she doesn't hang around. She didn't hang around yesterday like she normally does. Normally, like when Highway's out there, she'll be out there, if not laying there next to him, laying a couple of feet away. It's like as long as she could see him, she was happy and comfortable. But since he's not out there anymore, she comes by, gets some loving, gets some food, and then goes on about her business. So, I think she still loves me. She's very friendly, but she is like, I can't go put myself out in the yard and just stay out there for half a day, but as much as I would love to, but I guess without her buddy out there, she has other places she wants to go. So I think she notices his absence as well. So yeah, he's gonna be missed, and it's gonna be a big hole in everybody's heart. So there we go. So let's see, so I've been rambling again. My apologies. So Marilyn enjoyed my story. Well, thank you, Marilyn. So sad, but they will be waiting for it. I hope so. I hope so, Ryan. I mean, that's what I believe. So, Marilyn said, "Jeanette, me too, guys. I really do hope and pray so." Jeanette, well, then you fell in love. How sweet. Well, Jeanette, in all fairness, I don't think I fell in love. I think I fell in trapped by his little furry cuteness sleeping on my boot. So yeah, but he did grow on me. He grew on everybody. It was almost like he would force his love on you. I used to call him Creepy Dog because he would just sit and stare. I mean, he would literally just stare at you for hours. I can't tell you how many times I would lay on the sofa, and I'm talking about going back to when he was a puppy. He did this his entire life. I could lay on the sofa, fall asleep watching television. He'll be just sitting down, just staring at me. And I'd fall asleep and maybe wake up 45 minutes, an hour later, he's still sitting there. I mean, it's like, God, dog, you creepy little fur ball. But no, I used to call him Creepy Dog. But no, he would force you to love him. You didn't have a choice. So here's to you, Highway. Creepy. Love you, buddy. Jeanette says, yes, she knows he is gone. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, because that was really kind of when she did. Normally she would, if she, when I'm gone, I bring him in. I don't leave him. I didn't leave him outside if I wasn't home. But normally when I would come home, then if she wasn't just laying around somewhere, like kind of waiting on me to get home and, hey, can Highway come out to play kind of thing, then she would see or hear my truck pulling in, and she would come walking across the fence line, and there's a little hole in the fence right next to the driveway or right next to my gate that she would crawl through. And she crawled through yesterday, and it was like, okay, Highway wasn't out here this morning. It's getting about 1:30. Where's my buddy at? So yeah. Marilyn says, Scott, can you just give a little toast from the three of us out here to Highway? Oh, absolutely. That's a great idea. I don't know why I didn't think about that for the previous one. So I'm going to raise a glass. This is Highway. This is from Marilyn, Jeanette, and Ryan, the Rosie Army. They all say that they love you, and that try not to be too creepy in the process of making all the other animals, forcing them to love you too. We love you, they love you, and here's to you. There we go. Thank you very much. That was very sweet of y'all. That was, I didn't even think about that. That's awesome. But anyway, all right. So now let's move on to new business. Like I said, good news, bad news. I know that was the bad news. I try to turn it into try to be as cheerful as I possibly can. Otherwise, I'll just go crap crazy. Marilyn says that they love you, Highway. Jeanette says to Highway. Ryan says to Highway. He will stare at you some more in heaven. Oh, I know. I'm very well aware that he's probably staring at me now. Matter of fact, I think I posted a picture of him. I took a picture of him staring at me, but this was back in, this might have been like 2009, 2010, something like that. And I think I posted it on my Facebook. And I think I just labeled the picture creepy dog. I mean, it's like, what? So Marilyn said, thank you. You're welcome, Marilyn. So yeah. And we used to call him Dobby because I don't know if y'all watched the Harry Potter, but the character Dobby, he kind of resembled Dobby. We used to call, a little nickname we had for him was Dobby Dog. And so we used to threaten to give him a sock or something and set him free. So, give Dobby clothes and he's free. And she is really bored of me running my head. What is it, Doodle? So, all right. So, funny story, as if I haven't turned tragedy into humor already. There you go. Gives you a little insight into how Scott's mind works. It might be a little scary, but I've always dealt with life. Humor is sort of like the repair to everything else. Like I guess I don't know if it's a defense mechanism or a coping or what, I don't know, but I find humor in pretty much everything. And sometimes I actually share that humor, even though it may be inappropriate. And then in the aftermath, I go, ooh, God, I should have kept my mouth shut. So, all right, so funny story now about that one. So I told y'all that in the course of that I've had a hard time here recently clipping her claws. And that's because I think as she's getting older, I think her cuticles are growing farther and farther out toward the tips of her claws. Because used to, I could take off, a good 1/8 of an inch of her claw, and it wouldn't bother her other than the fact that she doesn't like her paws touched. She gets ticked off. But here, the last couple of years, it's gotten to where, less and less, to the point that I'm just barely, able to, take off the very tip. If I get any more than that, then apparently it does hurt her, because like earlier today, she bit me because I, got just a little bit too much, and I guess it hurt her, and she, screamed and bit at me. She bit me. I pulled away before she could get a good grip. She would have probably ripped my thumb open. So I've been trying to find an alternative to clipping her claws, because her claws have got to be clipped, because she has got murder mittens. Her claws are razor sharp. They are literally like meat hooks. Well, I don't know if I had mentioned it, but I was going to try to get some emery boards. So yesterday, day before, whenever it was, it was Friday. I go to the grocery store, and I go to the nail section, and I get me a little pack of emery boards. I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to see how this works, and we're going to file Rosie's nails. So Rosie's pampering has progressed to the point that she apparently now gets manis and petties, and I'm her spa minion. I don't know. But so Friday, I'm like, okay, let's give this a try. I didn't know how well it was going to go over, because, number one, I'm going to have to touch her paw. She's not going to like that. Second of all, this is going to be a process. This is not going to be a little snip, 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 and I'm done. But for some reason, she was perfectly fine with it. She laid there. She just kind of looked at the emery board, and I figured also the sound of was going to freak her out. Maybe the grinding would freak her out. She laid there. She was perfectly fine with it. It took a while because, nails apparently, I don't do a lot of filing on my nails, but, nails apparently don't file very quickly. So to do one paw, it took probably a good 20 minutes. But surprisingly, she was perfectly fine with all of it up until the last one. I don't know if it was because, maybe I did something different to that one, or she was just over it at that point. Maybe the reason she was fine with it was because the curiosity. Hey, this is something new. Wonder what Daddy's doing. So that seemed to work fine, other than the fact that it took forever. But I also didn't want to overdo it and do both paws at the same time, since it did take 20 minutes. So I figured I would do that. I did that paw Friday night. Then I figured I would do the other paw Saturday. Well, that didn't happen, of course, because of the events of yesterday. So then I managed to try to file her other paw this morning before, or it was afternoon. It was, after when I got back from church, but before the show started. I was going to file the other one. And I guess the novelty had worn off. I got about 2 strokes on that first claw, and she was already, let's just say, not happy. She wasn't having it today. So I tried another time or two. She resisted me. She would pull away. She would do this. It was like, you're not touching me. Leave me alone. Get away from me. This, that, and the other. So, but I had to do something. So I broke down and went back to the clippers, but just barely took just the bare tip off of her claws. So I'm back to the drawing board about what I'm going to do. So, yeah. So I can't take a lot off unless it's just going to be like every couple of days, just take a little bit off, Maybe take a little bit off and file a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be every 2 or 3 days, do a little filing. I don't know. But, apparently she, maybe we'll reach a point where, I'll make her a mimosa, peel her a grape, and maybe, give her, some cucumber eye pat, a little facial, and, she can have a spa day. That's what my life has been reduced to. What? You are so... She's looking at me like, I'm glad you finally figured it out. Yeah. Rose said, I don't think so, Daddy. Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Marilyn. She's looking at me like, yeah, I dare you. I dare you to try that every couple of days. Why are you so angry today? I just feel the violence coming from you. It's like pent up, ready to, as she goes to sleep while I'm talking to her. Wow, how about that for dismissive? Nice. So, yeah, there we go. There's where we're at. So, never a dull moment in Scott's life with the doodle. No kidding. It's like I can have everything. I can have the perfect day planned out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And then all of a sudden, doodle will snap her little fingers and like, plans out the window. They love you, Rosie. Everybody loves you. Everybody loves the doodle. So yeah, so now I'm getting ready to do some other things. I've noticed, I've made a lot of promises or said things that are right next to, I'm going to do this. And I haven't made any progress on shirts. I haven't made any progress. I'm sorry. I'm changing tactics now. Sorry. But I've decided in the new year there's a lot going to change in my life. I think that I had, for as much as I have on my plate, I think I have sort of self-induced, at least in my mind, putting more on my plate than I think I have. And in other words, I either have so much to do, but then I want to do so much more that I spend so much time plotting and planning on how to do this and how to do that, and let's make a schedule for that, and I get so so bogged down in the details that I actually end up getting. I've noticed the last couple of months, I've actually gotten outside of construction, getting physical jobs done. I actually have gotten very little accomplished in the way of the channel and with other things that I'm working on outside of construction and the Rosie channel. So I recognized that and decided that prior to the new year, in the new year starting January the 1st, that I was going to just, as much as it pained me, I'm going to be much more disciplined in what I want to do, rather than trying to take on 37 things and accomplishing one of them. I may try to take on 20 things and hopefully accomplish 3 of them, if that makes any sense. I think I've gotten so bogged down on trying to do too much that I've gotten nothing done, or feel like I've gotten nothing done. So I'm going to back off on some of it so that I can hopefully, get something accomplished on some fronts. So hopefully, I've seen some progress in that with some stuff with regard to construction. I've been able to focus the last couple of days on doing a couple things. I need to focus. I need to focus more on getting more content up. I know I've talked about it before. Y'all probably all sitting there going, but going to get try to get more content up, even if it's shorts. And then of course some other things that I want to work on, outside of both of those. But hopefully it'll result in getting something done with regard to shirts, maybe other merch. I know Maryland has been hardcore wanting mugs, so I'm gonna try to do that. So Jeanette said, "Do only what you can do, Scott. Everyone understands. Been there, done that." Yeah, well, and I agree with you, and I appreciate that, Jeanette. But my problem has been in doing. For some reason, I'll take it mentally. I will take on more than I can handle. But I always think, oh, I can make time in the evening for this, or I can make time on the weekend for that, or I can make it. And it's like, if I dedicated an hour a day to 3 things, then I could make progress on those 3 things. But if I'm trying to dedicate 5 minutes a day to 87 things, then you're really not getting. I'm really not able to get any. By the time I spend 5 minutes on this, by the time I really get, started, so to speak, now it's time to jump to the next thing, and the same. So I've got to tell myself, Scott, number one, live in the real world. There's only so many hours in the day. There's only so many hours that you can do things, and focus on accomplishing things, no matter how small they are, but focus on accomplishing things rather than doing things, if that makes any sense. Like I always I speak in a lot of analogies, but one thing I can liken it to, particularly with construction, is something that you can measure. If I'm going to paint that wall back there, if I focus on, I'm going to paint that wall this week, then I'll get that wall painted this week. But if I say, I'm going to spend 5 minutes every other day working on that wall, it may take me 6 months to paint, because by the time I get out the drop cloth and the roller and the brush and the tape, and by the time I get all supplies out, 5 minutes is up. All right, there's my 5 minutes, time to move on to something else. So I think I think I've got to focus. I think I'm going to focus blocks of time, actual time, not 5-10 minutes here, 5-10 minutes there, but actual blocks of time where this hour or this 3 hours belongs to the Rosie channel. This 3 hours belongs to construction. This 3 hours belongs to this, that, and and stick to it. So that way, at least I can, like I said, if I decide I'm going to paint this wall behind me this week, then I'll get it done. So, so I'm going to start measuring my successes based on my accomplishments, the things that I get done, as opposed to the things that I'm doing. Because I can do something forever, but it's the finishing it, it's the getting it done, and then move on to the next thing. So, Jeanette says, I have ADHD and I know what you mean. Not saying that you have it, but I have the same thing going on. Oh, trust me. I mean, look, I don't know if I have it or not. I know that I've got, other little quirks and whatnot. And there's times where I've wondered, I'm like, I wonder if I do, because, I tend to take on a lot. I can tell you this. There's one thing that, both of my ex-wives, sort of kind of got a kick out of. I mean, other people that know me, they sort of get a kick out of it too. There are certain things that I am OCD about. I mean, like OCD, particularly things with regard to security. So let's say before I go to bed, I'm going to check to make sure the front door's locked. Check. I turn the light on in the foyer, physically look at it, deadbolt's locked, doorknob's locked, shake it. It's locked, it's not turned, it's not open. Okay, good. Turn the light off, go to bed. Lay down. Did I lock the door? Get up, go check the door, light on, and I'll do this 4 or 5 times before my brain is convinced it will relax enough to let me securely lay down, relax, and go to sleep. I will check the stove 3 or 4 times before I leave, even if I have not used the stove in 2 days. For some reason in my mind, there's a ghost that comes along and turns my gas stove on before I go to work. I have to check to make sure. So yeah, trust me. I know exactly what you're saying, Jeanette, and whether it's that or whether it's I've got little as weird as it sounds, little rituals that I have to do that before my brain will feel comfortable in walking away from something. Like when I check, I was talking about checking the stove at night or checking the front door at night. I also check the kitchen at night, but I do it in a certain pattern. I check the stove top, check the bottom, check the flat top, my griddle, make sure it's off, make sure the toaster's off, make sure the microwave's off, and then make sure both coffee pots and the TV are off. And I do it in that order, but then I'll do it in that order 4 times. And then I can go to bed. But then I have to get up and go check the door 4 times. So yeah. Both my ex-wives, they thought it was cute at first. Later on, it was more of a, pardon my language, a pain in the ass, because we'd go to bed and they'd lay down, okay, night, love you, okay, night. And then it's like, oh, go check the stove. Like, okay, yeah, all right, you good? You lock, everything closed? You check the front door again? Yep, okay, yeah, all right, good night, love you, all right, good night, up, check. Okay, all right, you just, like, lay down! Yeah, they thought it was cute at first until they had dealt with it for 4 or 5 years, and then they were like, all right, I'm over it. The door's locked, lay down. Like, oh, all right, yes, ma'am. So yeah, sorry about that little extra special glimpse into my life. Y'all are probably all like private chatting each other. I think Scott's a little crazy. What y'all think? Do we need to keep an eye on him? Send the authorities to watch over Rosie. So I think Rosie's just giving up on me. She's like, oh, I'm going to sleep. I better quit drinking this. I'll be spilling all my life secrets. I'll be admitting to when I cheated on that spelling test in 3rd grade. Rosie's just like, okay, Daddy, whenever we can focus on me, since it is my show. Jeanette says, I think we're related somewhere. I think we're related somewhere. Nice. See, so you feel my pain, Jeanette? All right. All right, so enough about me. Let's focus on the doodle. So yeah, I'm gonna be focusing more on getting getting something done, some progress made towards shirts and mugs and all of that stuff. So yeah, if y'all see me sweating, it's because I'm kind of preemptively trying to warm the house. I mean, I don't know what temperatures are where y'all are at. I know that Maryland, it's freezing because she's in New York. Ryan is probably cold. I think where he's at is cold. But here, I think it's in the like high 60s, low 70s, something like that. It's short sleeve shirt weather. But we're supposed to get a cold front coming through tonight, and then starting tonight, tomorrow, and then for pretty much the remainder of the week, winter is going to be here. Well, at least as much as winter can show up in Texas, meaning it's going to drop down to below freezing. It's going to be 31 sometime tonight, and then the rest of the week it's going to be like in the 40s and 50s. Which I know, Maryland, you're probably thinking, really, crybaby. It's 40s or 50s. I know, y'all. It feels like 15 here. God Almighty, Maryland, stay indoors, please. But so winter's going to be here this week, and it's supposed to be like a week and a half. It's supposed to be back up in the 60s after that. So anyway, long story, I'm kind of preemptively trying to warm my place before it gets cold, because I don't like to get behind the curve. I don't like to it get cold outside, and then any cold that penetrates my place, now I've got to fight harder to get it back warm again. So I'm trying to get the warm elevated, and then as it gets cold, then it'll at least settle back down into something comfortable. So, in other words, it's hot. It's hot. I think, what is it? It's like almost 80 degrees, but I know that there's freezing cold, weather coming tonight. So, I'm trying to get ahead of the curve. What did Ryan say? I replied to you on Facebook with a mock-up with Rosie and oh, cool. It looks funny with a high-res photo, a caption, and maybe a background. Okay, cool, awesome. Thank you, Ryan. So I've got to lay out my blocks of time. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got a whiteboard that I normally use for my business, showing the jobs that I'm working on, the address, the description. Have I bid the job? Yes or no? Has it been accepted? Yes or no? Contracted? Yes or no? Deposit received? Yes or no? Permit? Yes or no? Blah blah. And then notes. So anyway, bottom line, I've got this whiteboard with all my jobs listed. I can create another method for keeping up with my jobs. I'm going to convert this whiteboard into blocking off my time, so that I have a physical schedule that I can look at. Because if I try to do some of this newfangled, this new age, digital calendar, I won't keep up. I'm old school. I've got to have a notebook that I can flip to a page, or a whiteboard that I can look at. That's how my brain works. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to block off my time. So I'm going to block off Rosie time, construction time, other projects time, all that stuff, and then hopefully be able to make some progress there. So I'm going to, all that to say, Ryan, I'm going to, when I get my Rosie time created, then I'm going to, I'll use that photo. I'll see, what I can do for captions or anything. Actually, what I'll do is I'll post it to my Facebook. I know that Jeanette, all right, so Ryan, you're obviously on Facebook. Well, let's see here. I'm going to try to migrate my Rosie stuff to my Rosie, or not, sorry, let me rephrase that. I'm going to go to my Rosie channel Facebook, I'm gonna friend. What's this? That's a. It's not my personal page, so I don't know if I can friend request. If I can friend request the three of y'all, Marilyn, Ryan, and Jeanette, on my Rosie Doodle page, then hopefully we can create some kind of outside YouTube communication. That way we can toss around ideas for, like Ryan was mentioning, a caption for the picture or something like that. Because I can come up with a caption, but hey, if Jeanette or Marilyn can come up with one, also we can throw those in the mix and see. So yeah, once I get off of here, I'm going to lay out my schedule as far as my blocks of time for my various projects, actually just the various things in my life, like even my eating, because my eating has changed up after the first of the year. My working out, I've got to discipline my entire life, because the last several months it's turned into the tail wagging the dog, and life just kind of happening to Scott instead of Scott making life happen for him. Marilyn says, I'm the odd one out, don't have Facebook. All right, so we've got to, so we've got to come up with, do you do any social media, Marilyn? You do, because I don't have an Instagram or any of that stuff, but I guess I could start one. Just trying to come up with a way that we can communicate. But if it turns into, the only way we can communicate is through the YouTube chat, then it is what it is. We'll make that work too. So yeah. Okay, so Marilyn said, all right, so that's fine. That's fine, no biggie. So we'll make I'll go ahead and friend request Jeanette and Ryan on Rosie's Facebook channel, and then we can keep Marilyn looped in here on the channel. Get her input. So, because she's as much a part of the Rosie Army as any of the other three of us. We'll make sure Marilyn's clear. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. That's not even an option, unless Marilyn decides to up and leave us. Then she's along for the ride. Don't want to make things difficult. Just that you're not making things difficult, Marilyn. Ain't no biggie. Nope. You're part of the Rosie Army. No, but don't worry about it. Don't apologize, Marilyn. Do not apologize. So, all right. So, let me get all my time blocked out for the various things in my life. Because another thing is, if I have all my time blocked out for this, for that, and for the other, then when I get some other harebrained idea about, I think I want to do this, then I'll go, oh no, I don't have room in my life for that, so I'll have to put that on hold for a while. Don't leave us, Marilyn. Marilyn ain't gonna leave us. The Rosie Army will not let you leave us. You have enlisted. You are a part of. You have enlisted in the Rosie Army. There is no out clause. Oh, wait a minute. That sounds. Sorry, I take that back. That sounds kind of cultish. You can't leave us. You'll never leave the Rosie Army. Well, that doesn't sound weird. Y'all are all going, okay, I think Scott's had a little bit too much of that Ostie. Rosie, cut him off. Oh. Yeah, those made my life. There we go. Marilyn had me worried there for a minute. She said, I am not going anywhere. There you go. All right. So, yeah, I don't know if we're going to have drug rug today. We'll give it a shot. I'll put some dope out on the blanket on her temporary drug rug, but we've all seen that look on her face before, and this generally does not lend itself to her, getting up and fighting with orange fish. She just went back to sleep. I don't know. I mean, we're still going to do beans and kisses. She's going out. She is. So I'll give you a perfect example of, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. That, I mentioned last week that she helped me wrap presents, and I keep meaning to post that. It's like a 30-second video, 28 seconds, something like that. So it's going to post as a short. I still haven't, I've had time to post that video, but I haven't made the time to post that video because I go, I need to post that video. Oh, but wait a minute, I need to do this. Oh, wait a minute, but I need to do this first. And I need to, and I need to, and I need to, and I need, and all this time, here we go, what was this? This was Christmas morning, like 1 o'clock in the morning is when I made the video. And I still hadn't posted it. Her little half asleep Buddha face. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's knocked out. She's about knocked out. Yeah, I think we're just going to go for kisses and beans. All right. Well, at least we know Scott is going to get something accomplished at home today because Scott was going to the grocery store, but half the bottle of Monty says, you ain't going nowhere. So I'm home for the day. Why are you starting to clean your murder mittens as soon as you see me sit up? It's like you're sharpening your knives. Why are you so mean to me? You're so hostile. You little tuxedo assassin. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. Beans! Hello, Beans. She is definitely not happy about this. Beans. Beans, Doodle. Eat the beans. Ah. Okay. One for Ryan. One for Jeanette. One for Marilyn. And one for me. This is about to hurt. Okay, so when a cat is like on their way to getting pissed off and you can just feel the tension in their body. That's where that's why I was like, oh, this is gonna hurt, this is gonna hurt, this is gonna hurt. Yeah. Thankfully it did not too bad. What is it, Doodle? Meow. You want to try your drugs? You want drugs? Should we try the drug rug? Since she's awake. Get out the first thing. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You're wishing that tail. She was really not happy. Meow. She's like, why can't you let me sleep? Oh, chin scratches. Can try if she wants. Well, we'll give it a shot. All right, Rosie. Seriously? Yeah, you want drugs? It's your catnip. You want it? Come on. Come on, druggie. What? It's catnip. Man, no, you're going to ignore it. Here. Catnip. No? No drugs? No mota? No, here we go. Meow. Here. Oh, get them drugs. You feeling good, Doodle? Get it, Doodle. Meow. Get it, get it, get it, get it. Get it, silly. Get it. was that? Get it, get it. I still hadn't found orange fishy. Was a Band-Aids, yeah. Was it get out the first aid kit? Yeah. Oh. You almost got me. I got caught up reading messages. About got attacked by the doodle. That's the good stuff. Are you warming up? Marilyn said you're warming up. Looks like you're done heated up. I am definitely going to pay for that one. She'll remember that one and get me later on. Take a swipe at me, little brat. Meanness. Do I have? No. I was looking to see if I had a laser out here, but I think the laser's out in my truck. My laser pointer is part of an electrical tester, but it's out in my truck, so. Get it! Did you get it? Nope. 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 Give me. Get it, Doodle. You almost had it. What idiot baby. Go get your tail. Silly girl. Oh, goodness. What we got here? Oh, God, we've been going an hour and 20 minutes. What we got? Those warming up, that's the good stuff. The licking. Yeah, look out tonight. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, see, she remembers all this, and I'll pay for it later on. Little pink toes, little pink beans. Ah. So there we go. Am I? I'm sorry. I was blocking your view, Doodle. Ooh, don't attack me. Actually, it's not bad now because I did manage to clip her claws. She'll have them back to razor sharp in about 2 days. So, all right. I think we're going to wrap it right there. I think we've had a show that at least runs the gamut of ups and downs. We were able to share some time with our doodle. We were able to share some stories and some memories of fur babies that are no longer with us. If any of you get a chance, go check out Kit Kat Playroom on Facebook. That's Wyatt's mom's cat page, and she's actually, you know, I feel so bad for her. She gave she has the capacity for love for that for you know, seems like all the animals, but she gave Wyatt such a wonderful life and so much love, and I'm so grateful that she little Wyatt knew nothing but love, and so if you get a chance, go check out her page. You'll see videos and posts about little Wyatt. He's just the most adorable little orange guy that, I mean, he's just sweet, just that heart melts. But yeah, so with that, we will call it a day. But once more, to Wyatt and to Highway, from all of us here at the Rosie Army, Wyatt, Highway, y'all are all, you know, enjoying the green pastures on the other side of the Rainbow Bridge, waiting on somebody. So here's to you. We love y'all, and we'll see you again one day. Cheers. Is she on YouTube or Instagram? I don't know for sure, Marilyn. For some reason, I want to say that I've seen in some of her posts that she's made reference to a YouTube channel. I may be wrong. I may be conflating her channel with another channel, so I don't know. But it's called Kit Kat Playroom, and I believe both Kit Kat is one word, but I think that they're both spelled with a K, almost like the food, Kit Kat. But it's Kit Kat Playroom. So yeah, if you want to check her out, see if she's on YouTube or Instagram. I haven't even looked because I don't have an Instagram. I need to create an Instagram for this little monster. But I just haven't looked on YouTube because I see her on Facebook. But yeah, she's done a wonderful job with all her fur babies, but with Wyatt in particular. So yeah, to Wyatt and Highway, we love you, we will miss you, and we'll see you again one day. Here's to you. And with that having been said, I think we'll call it a day right there. And as usual, I will leave it up and let everybody say their toodles to each other. And until next week, everybody have a safe, productive week, and just be careful. And what else? You got anything, Doodle, before we sign off, or before I leave it to the Rosie Army? No, you're done. You're going into loaf mode. we having a staring contest? You know you're going to win. She looks away like, damn. So, all right. Until next week, I will see y'all later. Oh, be sure and like. I've got to. That's another thing. I've got to start asking for this stuff. But be sure and like. Leave comments. That's another thing I'm going to start doing. I'm going to try to start adding a description, adding links to stuff. And one thing that I have gotten away from talking about, actually one of the main reasons I started doing these live streams, and y'all remember, because some of y'all have been here from the very beginning, was the whole purpose of this was to get to a point of being monetized and selling merch and everything. And yes, it's a business, and and whatnot, hopefully to make money and to grow the channel and to grow the awareness of CH and other special needs. But also I want to start being able to donate to shelters and donate to various rescues. I want to be able to, this little special needs monster right here has given me so much that I want so much to give back to the little furry world, and particularly special needs. So that's another focus is not just going to be on doing a live stream once a week or posting a video every now and again, but I'm going to get back to focusing on building the channel as a business so that it can move forward and do the things that we had talked about it doing previously. Again, I've sort of gotten away from that focus because of, like I said a while ago, it's the tail wagging the dog, so to speak. Scott has not been. Life has been running Scott as opposed to the other way. So, for the last probably 6 months or so, just because there's been a lot going on, and I won't say overwhelming, but overwhelming, and I've just sort of taken my eye off the ball of directing life and things as they should be, and just sort of go with the flow, and that's what I want to get back to. So, all right, well, y'all have a good week. Again, I say again, I am thankful, appreciative for y'all being here and letting me share this time and my goofiness with y'all, but particularly this week in light of losing Highway yesterday. I will say this, I will give a little, like I said, the whole story behind yesterday was when I went to take him out. In the morning, I went to take him outside, got his food ready and everything. And normally, even though he was, mostly blind and mostly deaf because he was, old, then normally he would either, if he was asleep, particularly if he was in a deep sleep, he wouldn't even wake up when I came in the room until he felt the kennel vibrate as I opened the door. Then he would just sort of, sort of grudgingly, okay, Daddy, we'll go outside, like a little old man, gonna get up and this, that, and the other. Well, yesterday, when I opened his kennel, he looked at me and he put his paws, he was laying, not necessarily laying funny, but laying in a way that he was sort of sprawled out, where normally he sort of balls up. But he, as he put his, so I thought that was kind of odd, but then he put his front paws underneath him like he was going to get up. He did like a half a push-up and then just sort of flopped back down. But his entire back half never moved. He couldn't move his back half at all. And I was like, oh God, this isn't good. And he looked at me and he had this look on his face like, dude, it's time. Help me out. I can't keep doing this. It was almost like he was giving me permission, saying, hey, Daddy, it's time for me to go. And I tried to give, his nose was kind of chalky. I tried giving him some water. I put a bowl in his kennel. He wouldn't drink it. I put some water in my hand, tried to get him to drink out of my hand, and he wouldn't do it. And he just lay there, and he was panting like he had been running a marathon, even though he had not moved. Very short, choppy breaths, and just open mouth, panting like he had been running for an hour. And I knew, like I said, every time I'd walk in the room and he would catch me, catch sight of me for, as much as he could see, then it was just almost like looking at me and begging, like, Daddy, please, this should have been done a long time ago, but please, let's get this over with. And called a lot of vets, and they all wanted to do exams and blood work, and well, we'll see about this. And I'm like, look, I don't want to spend $800. And I know this is going to sound bad, but at the end of the day, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I don't need to spend $800 that's going to put me in, in a really bad bind for you to tell me that a 17-year-old dog that is blind, deaf, has seizures, and now can't walk, has half of his teeth have fallen out, that he has limped for the last couple of years. He's got little moles growing on his head, and I don't need to spend $800 for you to tell me that he needs to be put down, and then let's start talking about how much it's going to cost to put him down. And I found a vet that said, that they have to do some type of exam because the medicines that they use to put them to sleep is a controlled substance, and they said that they have to, report to the DEA that they did an exam in order to justify the use of a controlled substance like that, which that made sense. But they said that they would do, that they can tell, particularly 17, with all the factors there together, like, yeah. But as soon as I couldn't even, he didn't even walk into the clinic. I had to carry him in. I mean, he couldn't move. He was literally, as a matter of fact, when I picked him up out of his kennel to lay him on a blanket to carry him out to my truck, his back half was already, just there. It was almost like rigor had already set in. There was nothing to his back half. And when I carried him into the clinic, then it was almost like they just watching me carry him in. They're like, oh yeah, he needs to go. But they did do an exam, and they charged very minimal for it. And they took care of me in a dignified, very dignified way. They were wonderful. They were absolutely wonderful, caring, sweet, all that stuff. But they knew, and she felt around. She said that there did appear to be some type of a mass in his abdomen. So it's just 17-year-old dog. I mean, in human years, that was 119. You could see his eyes were milky. He had cataracts. Again, it's just it was something that I didn't need to spend $800 for them to tell me what I already knew. And the vet took great care of him. And so like I said, that was I was in the room when they did it. It was tough. It was actually a lot more. Maybe it was because he was almost gone before they administered the drugs. I mean, he was barely breathing. He was a very energetic dog. I mean, he was, God Almighty. It was like a hyper dog on crack. I mean, he was just so full of life and so full of energy. And I'll bet you he didn't move 2 inches all day long yesterday. I mean, it was horrible. But while she was administering the drugs, I was petting him on his head and rubbing his ears, and gave him a couple of kisses on his head. It was rough. It was really tough, and it went really quick. And he, the old saying, I always, kind of looked at it as, you soften the blow to children about, you tell them, well, little Fluffy just went to sleep, and he just went to sleep, and that's it. That's really, at least in Highway's case, that's kind of what happened. I mean, there was no, I don't know if I had built up in my head that he was going to fight it, or, if it was going to be painful, if he was going to scream, if he was going to do that. But he did, absolutely, he was laying there breathing. Once she administered the whatever it was that, quote unquote, put him to sleep, then he became very relaxed, and then she administered the euthanasia. And I'll say within 20 to 30 seconds. Nothing. Stopped breathing. I mean, there was no, like I said, I built up in my head that it was going to be oh God, Daddy, help me, kind of thing. But it was just, maybe it was just, he was resigned to it. Maybe it doesn't hurt. I don't know. But, it was very peaceful. And, like I said, I petted him on his head and whatnot while he was crossing the bridge. And, she put her stethoscope on him, and, about 20 seconds after administering the euthanasia, she put the stethoscope on him, and she said, he's gone. And I said, okay. And they put him in a temporary cardboard coffin for me to take him to the crematorium. Again, very dignified, very, I mean, there was even, I had to leave the exam room once to go, because when they went and got him ready and prepared for it, then I had to go pay for the services, pay for it while they were getting him ready. But when I left the room to go to the reception desk to pay for it, the vet tech, who had no obligation to do this, chose to get down in the floor with him and pet him on his head while I wasn't there to pet him on his head. I mean, the vet tech could have easily said, yeah, go pay for it, and then we'll, take care of it, and walk out of the room the same time I did. But the vet tech took it upon himself to lay down in the floor with Highway and scratch his ears and pet his head while I wasn't there to do it. So, I mean, I would love to mention their name, but I don't know if I can or if I'm allowed to or whatnot. I would love to mention their name, and I would love to mention the crematorium, but I can tell you right now, if I find out that I can, I'm going to do I'll mention them in another live stream, or I'll do a video about it, because both the vet and the crematorium treated me and Highway and Cat with such dignity and respect. It was, I can't even put it into words. It was touching, it was loving, it was sweet, it was everything you would want for for any loved one, be it a person or a pet. But they, both of them, and they don't work together. It's not like they're two completely separate entities, but they both were so good to me and to my fur babies that I like I said, if I knew for sure I could mention them without there being any issues, then I certainly would. But if I find out later I can, I'll do a different video. But no, they were both great. They were both wonderful, and oh my God, I'm so glad. I'm just blessed. That God brought both of those, that vet and that crematorium, into my life. They're both. I'll shut up now because they were. I could go on forever about how great they were. So, but yeah. So that was. I know that I mentioned it earlier in the video, and y'all said go into as much detail as you want. But that's how yesterday progressed. That's how yesterday started, and that's how it went. As far as 7 o'clock in the morning, going to take him out, and that's when it all started. Making phone calls, trying to find, most places didn't even open until 8 o'clock. So all I could do is just, try to do the best I could to do something for him for an hour while I was waiting on vet clinics to open up, and then, finally, call and make, explain to them what's going on. They're like, oh well, for $600 we can do this, and blood work and then $800. I'm like, look, he's 17 years old, blind, deaf, seizures. That I don't need an exam to tell me that he, needs to go. So, but yeah, that's where that went. So, anyway, not to end today's episode on a bad note, but we'll get back to happiness. Yeah, vets I've met are good people too, and the vet nurses. Yeah, it seems like I don't know. I guess the fact that their patients by nature exude nothing but love. They seem to be, not to take anything away from doctors or nurses or anything. I've got, some of the greatest friends I've had are doctors and nurses, and my sister's a doctor, so not to take anything away from them, but I think that people being people have a tendency to be jerks from time to time. So if a doctor or nurse doesn't do what they think they should or what they want them to do, or they, God forbid, have to give them bad news, then somehow the doctor or nurse's fault or something. But I guess when your patient base is nothing, is just furry animals that know nothing but love. I don't know, but to Ryan's point, a lot of vets that I've met and vet techs and whatnot, they're great. They're wonderful. A lot of compassion, a lot of caring, a lot of love. I don't know. There's been times I've been to the doctor, whether it's me or family members, and the doctor's bedside manner may either completely suck, or you can just tell it's fake, it's contrived. Like, oh, well, we'll do the best to take really good care of you, Mr. Sibley, and almost like they're reading from a script. But with a vet, to Ryan's point, with a vet, it's like when they say, we're going to do the best we can to take care of, Highway or whoever, then you actually feel it. It's almost like they mean it a lot more. And again, I'm not trying to take anything away from doctors and nurses, but that's just been my experience. So, all right. I guess Scott's done rambling now. So, all right. Again, thank you all for being here, particularly this week. Because it's kind of 2025 hadn't started out all that great. 5 days in, we got 360 more to go. Wow. I hope that it picks up from here. Otherwise, December 31st of this year, we're going to be showing 2025 the door, saying, "Get the hell out." Where's 2026? So, yeah. All right. Don't hurt yourself, Doodle. All right. So anyway, thank you for being here, everybody. Much love to the Rosie Army from me and the Doodle. And again, I'm going to leave it up for a few minutes. Let everybody say their toodles to everybody, say their toodles to Doodle and all that stuff. And I will see y'all next week. Hopefully get my time blocked out and actually make some progress. Be sure to like the video, comment, anything like that. Refer your friends and family, whatever. I've got to figure out a way to do the sales pitch that I see everybody do, that is a thing. And I almost feel like I'm going into car sales mode, like be sure and sign up for the Rosie Doodle channel right here at YouTube, something crazy like that. But anyway, y'all have a lovely week, a blessed week, a safe week, a productive week, and I will see y'all next week. Toodles, everybody. Say toodles, Doodle. Or not. See y'all next week. Toodles.